Question number 1, how did you first start coming to KC? So my cousin was attending KC at the time, and she told me that if I went for Frosh dinner, I would get free food. So obviously I went.
So I first started coming to KCF by the recommendation of my close high school friend and then roommate Inha Simon Kim, aka Elizabeth Kim. He noticed that I was like having a little bit of a rough time in my first year. My first year, I was very much just obsessed, hyper focused on school, and he knows that I was just having a very hard time kind of just relaxing and opening up. So he invited me to the KCF end of term potluck in the fall of 2018. And since then, I've been coming to KCF whenever I had the capacity to.
Wait. Okay. I was told by Cheu to come out a few times in the winter term. I was told a few times to come out by Cheu and Sam in the winter term, 2022. And then I didn't go then, but I wanted to go in the spring term. KCF doesn't exist in the spring term, so I came in the fall. Yeah, that's how I came out.
I think the first time I came out in first year was because I think it was Karen Koo told me to come, or was it Greg, or my room or my classmate, one or the other, but someone invited me and I went.
Oh, I came to KCF because my good friend Inha recommended me to come hang out. I was like, okay, sure. I got a light term this term. I was like, I'll go hang out, and I met some amazing people. That was nice, yeah. Nice.
I would say for KC was really a place that made me take my faith more seriously. Made me realize how much I need God, how much God really loved us so much that he sent his son down to die for our sins, right? At first, KC was like a place where like, oh, I learned about like theology or like a place to like hang out with people and to also like see a community that was really, really connected, but also very, very, what's the word? Devoted to Christ. That was like one of the things. And then as I got into discipleship with one of my upper years, I really started to like understand why I believe in God, why I believe in Christianity, why I believe in certain things. And then like that was like a really, really good time where I just learned why I believe in God, why am I Christian, as well as, you know, I had a lot of time during COVID, so like that was actually like one reason why I really took my faith more seriously during my second and third year with KC, was because like there was nothing else to do, right? So I went into the Bible, read, and like really, really dive deep into Christianity. So
I don't know. KCF is just a very welcoming place. I felt like, I don't know, very quickly I came to know a lot of people. I've only been here 2 terms, but I feel like I've know everyone quite well now. So yeah, I think that's the best part of KCF.
For me, coming to KCF from the Yukon, since there's like no really Christian members or Christians my age, it was nice to see like that a group of young university student Christian people. And it just made me feel they were very friendly, they were very welcoming, and yeah, enjoyed having that community?
To be honest, I am not a Christian, but I've lived in basically went through a lot of Christian environment because my high school has like a church program where we go basically do some church stuff every Friday. So I think it definitely opened my eyes to how like you guys the Christians think about daily stuff. Really opened my eyes about how people approach faith itself. Even though I'm not a very spiritual person, but I do follow a lot of the same concept that you guys follow. I think it's really cool to see what you guys see as well.
I think definitely through every week's Connect and also Bible study, where I get to know more of God's Word and truly applying them to my life as well. And I'm also very grateful to be able to grow alongside with different brothers and sisters in KC, especially with women's group. Shout out to Jerianne. Honestly, every week, every session for women's group has helped me grow in different areas, and I'm able to just learn so much from everyone, and I'm glad that I have this safe space to be able to share like our thoughts and be able to learn from one another as well.
I think a big aspect of KC is community, because it's a gateway into inserting yourself into the church through a parachurch, right? Just being able to take a role within a system. We're all given gifts, as it says in the Bible, and I think this is a good place to start to learn how to use those gifts, try to figure out what they are, and just being a part of a servant team and being a CR at one point, I think it really just challenged a lot of my beliefs and was a good chance to just grow in my faith.
Number 4, what will you miss most about KC? I'm just going to miss the time that has been set apart every single week since literally 2019 for me, just to be with my KC brothers and sisters.
Miss Colin Sue.
I'm just gonna miss just being around everybody, like in this large setting. Like it's so nice that we are all in like proximity to each other right now. We can just hang out whenever, whether it's to study, grab a bite. Like just there's always something KCF going on during the week, people to hang out with. I feel like I'm really gonna miss having you guys all so close and near. I know that you guys will always be in my heart, but I know it'll be harder to meet in the same settings again. So I feel like that's what I'm gonna miss the most. But I think I'm not as concerned anymore about like losing friendships once I graduate, because I feel like the last year especially I've had really good conversations, and they've all also been very hopeful, like looking forward, making plans for the summer, etc. So I feel like I'm just really excited to graduate with this group of people and keep in touch with them and hang out, and also so excited to see what like all of our younger years are going to grow up to be, and be it like stepping up to be leaders or like just like excelling in their own professional careers, and like rooting for you guys so much. So I'm so excited, I think. And even while I miss everybody, I think I will miss everybody. I know I will miss everybody. I think it's still not it's bittersweet, but I'm still very excited and hopeful at the same time.
I mean, the people I spent time with, especially the other ones regularly attending board games night. I'm really going to miss board games night and all the people I've met there. And yes, I think that's the thing I will miss most about KCF.
Like just the community, like I don't know, just being able to like always like have people to like hang out with. I think like especially I remember my first year, second year, someone just posts on the Facebook, like Facebook, like, oh, EV344, and everyone pulls up. I'm always there. I'm always at EV3, but I never studied. I always like watch movies, like all that. I remember like going to small groups and then going to morning prayer, playing like soccer with KCF, like the older heads of KCF, like all that stuff. Like graduating and going to the real world, like I'm not gonna have as many opportunities, right? Like a lot, it's gonna be just same old rinse and repeat. And occasionally I'm gonna go meet friends, so I'm definitely gonna miss like the availability of other people.
I think it's just the group environment, the like the community environment. Because once we graduate, we're all gonna go to different places. There's not every Friday everybody come together to do the big group study, do some Bible verses, play some games. Yeah, I think that's something that I'll miss the most about KCF.
I think definitely the people and just this community in general. I think coming back to Canada after so long, I never thought that I could still have such a close group of friends and brothers and sisters that can keep me accountable. So I'm really grateful for the amazing humans that are in my life, especially the past 4 months. And yeah, I'm going to miss just seeing everyone every week, being able to talk about dumb stuff and the gospel, and also be able to just have fun at any time we want and just call each other up and studying together, going to foodie together, even though that's not our favorite restaurant. But yeah, I'm just going to miss seeing people.
Don't do drugs.
Fair.
I feel like we should have done it together.
Oh, and Apaya once told me in second year when I first joined, it's Benji actually, he told me that the amount of time you invest in KCF, you're gonna get that back. Like you're gonna receive it in tenfold. And I didn't quite understand what he meant. I think at the time, I really loved KCF and like this community, but I didn't necessarily feel like I was part of it yet. So it felt like, okay, I could keep coming in and like maybe serve and stuff like that, but I don't really, like I didn't quite understand what he meant. But like so many years later, like graduating, I really get it. I feel like all that time you spend coming out and like having those conversations with people, getting to know people better, you've like forged such meaningful relationships with everyone, and those are things that you're gonna really treasure. And yeah, I think to whoever's new coming in, my advice would be to just like keep coming out. Like this is a great community of people to know, and like we really love everybody who comes in, and I feel like I really hope that you find those people in our fellowship who become like your really good friends, like and I pray that like this community can be a place where you're able to feel like challenged and encouraged in your faith, and also supported if you're going through anything hard. So I'd say yeah, like invest a little bit time in it, it'll be worth it.
To younger years, I feel like I'm a very good bad example of like what not to do. Just a perfect example of what not to do. I mean, I stayed up until like 4 a.m. not even working on my assignment, just doing random stuff with Josh, and then worked on my assignment until 9, and I was late to this as well. So I would say start your assignments on time. But also I would also say like value like stuff like this, like clubs like this, social opportunities like this, while also like spiritual opportunities like KCF, where you can sort of explore and find ways to define yourself both like socially and spiritually.
Okay.
I say don't be like Inha.
Any advice?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to come out to KC, even if you haven't been coming out for a hella long time. I say take a leap of faith and just go even by yourself, because that's what I did, and just kind of know that people will come to you and be willing to talk to you, and you will feel like you should have been there, like went so much earlier than you did. So yeah, that's my advice, to just come out if you thought about it.
I think one piece of advice that I will give to a lower year is to like really prioritize school, and like because like academic is very important, and like me myself is like a very efficient student. Like I always do like the tasks and like complete like the assignment with like the minimum effort but gives me the maximum output. So I think like that is a way to succeed in school and also in life. And I guess the last piece of advice is to not be like Eddie and Inha.
Don't worry too much about what's happening now, because university is only 4 years or 6 years for some. But like, it's only a short period of your life. It doesn't define who you are. It's fine.
I have quite a few. So number one is you're a Christian first and a student second. This phrase was said at a KC Connect, I think in my second year, and it stuck with me ever since because it just reminds me that my life is much more than just getting good grades and good co-ops. Like, it's for the kingdom of God now, and my priorities and my perspective has now completely changed because of this. Number two is if you're like me and you're intimidated by evangelism and sharing the gospel with others, don't diminish the value in simply just making people feel heard and listening to them well. Doing so helps people feel more comfortable in sharing their personal struggles with you and the deeper things that they're thinking about. And that will naturally lead to many opportunities for you to speak to their personal struggles through the gospel. And it's really cool to see. So I would just encourage you in that way. Thirdly is learn how to serve with open hands. And let me explain what this means. So throughout my years of serving at KC, I have definitely been guilty of serving with closed fists, meaning I lack generosity and I kind of only do what's expected of me, and I'm very territorial of like my time. And I've also learned, though, however, that serving with open hands doesn't mean that I just let my grades and my physical and mental health just like slip through the cracks of my fingers. To me, serving with open hands means that I give my entire life. I lay it all before God, despite its inadequacy and its brokenness, and I give him like my priorities and my dreams as well. And I simply just entrust that all to him and say, God, here I am. That's basically all I can give, but God can use all that. And I've been part of KC's servant team since winter 2021, and that is by no means a testament to my quote-unquote faithfulness. Like, that's a testament to how faithful God has been in sustaining me and providing for me. And I think that's because I've learned how to serve with open hands, meaning I just simply trust everything to God.
I don't know. I think a lot of my memories come from like first year. I was like kind of stepping away from home, right? And just kind of coming to like a foreign, I guess, environment. And a lot of people just like, hey, like, we'd love to have you in our group, right? It's just like the feeling of acceptance when you first step onto campus. It's not something that you're, I guess, expecting as you walk on, right?
I feel like not anything like specifically. I feel like just every time I come to KCF large group, it's just funny, embarrassing memories.
Which one's your favorite?
I can't say. This is really cringe, but I think one of my most memorable moments from KCF was when we were at Sam's, and it was like one of the first days Sam started to play League.
Oh.
And it was like this giant LAN party in the basement. That was that. Other than that, like retreat in second year, I think. Really, that was like where I feel like a very defining moment in my spiritual journey, where I sort of found out like how my like faith is and like how I should progress after that. Retreat, second year? Yeah.
Sure. I think my fondest memory in KCF is when I'm part of the single man ministry. The group really supported single men like me, and it helped me through my undergrad of being single.
there were many funny moments during board games night, definitely. Especially when you see that people have, for example, Eddie has a really funny attitude towards playing board games because usually the people I play with in the ring, they're only focused on winning the games, but Eddie is focused on making the game as enjoyable and as fun as possible, and that doesn't mean trying to win by all means. So that really created really funny stories. And also a nice story was I joined the intramural football team, and I was invited by mostly by Rick and by Simon, and that was a really funny story because we started out not playing very well, but in the end we won the whole tournament and we played extremely well in the end, and that it really formed we really formed a really good team, and there was a really good chemistry and atmosphere inside the team, and that was a really nice story.
Not Samyum and Revive performance. That was great. Follow them on SoundCloud.
Is this funny or embarrassing? But Evan is my little brother. Yes, he's bigger than me, but I'm the older sister. Remember, I'm your Luna, your 姐姐. But okay, jokes aside, I think funny moments probably when we did Friends Night and then Pastor Daniel had to dance New Jeans, oh my gosh, on stage. Oh, hey, sorry. Everyone had to dance it, but then no one got the cue except Pastor Daniel, so he ended up dancing by himself. So that was a really bold move and really funny move, but props to you, sir.
Well, 40 minutes ago, we were fighting over who would interview first, and then we decided to do it not together, but when Sarah joined, we decided to do it together, and it took 30 minutes to settle that.
Fun time, guys.
Don't graduate.
Basically, you guys know Evan, so basically in higher calling, we had this deal. Yo, if you get me a bubble tea with your 1,000 chat time points, then I'll get you an Americano. I'll get you a coffee. It's like bed, but okay. So come the day where we were supposed to exchange our drinks, I give Evan his lovely Americano, large. He has a straw, he enjoys the Americano. Evan gives me bubble tea without a straw. And I'm like, yo, where's the straw? He's like, yo, I forgot the straw. I can't find a straw. I'm like, Evan, that's the one essential tool to drink boba. I literally cannot drink boba without the straw. And I was looking for it everywhere. I asked Kevin. Kevin said he has another straw. I was like, oh really? He's like, yo, I can't find it. I was like, okay. Thanks for putting my hopes up. And then Evan feels bad. Evan's a good guy, so he feels bad. So he offers me the tiny straw that I gave him for his Americano, so confidently too. Just Joe, just take it, as if he's doing such a big favor. And then I go up to him and I say, Evan, no, take it back. And he's like, no, take it. And I'm like, no, take it back. And I was like, Evan, if I use this straw for my bubble tea, the bubbles will clog the straw and I will not drink anything at all. Please take it back. So Evan took it back, and then long story short, I went home with stale boba. I had my own metal straw. So yeah, that's the funny story.
Yeah, so my fondest memory of KCF, it was when I was on co-op winter in the fall. Yeah, that was a good break.
There were many moments within KCF. One of them that I always think about from time to time was when I was in second year, and it was also a very difficult time in my life. I was struggling with some personal decisions regarding career and my purpose here in Waterloo. During that time, it was also when I was doing first year small group in the winter, and it was during the co-op term, and it was a particular event where all the first years and the upper years, they all came over to it was my house, and we had a small little praise and prayer night, and I always think of that because I think that was definitely one of the days where I found myself to be lifted up the most by my peers, despite being in such a low point in my life. And there are many things shared by my KCF peers that I still think about to this day, and it strongly lifts me up whenever I'm feeling down. I remember during that time, one of the upper years, when everyone was leaving, he decided to just stay in my apartment all the way until 5 a.m. in the morning. He wouldn't leave until he was assured that I was okay. And to me, it just really reminded me of the love that we sort of have for each other. And there were a lot of things like shared by the people who I was serving First Year Small Group at the time. I think lots of words of encouragement and belief in that whatever I do, that they strongly believe that I would be able to do it well. And those words have always been circling back to my head whenever I was in a moment of doubt for myself. And I just think that I'm not always too sure if they really know like those small moments, but to me it has always left a forever large impact in my life and ingrained in my heart. So yeah, I'm always thankful for that.
My favorite part about KCF, I think, is like how I was treated by the upper years. Like I think that's what like made KCF really, really good, and that's why I originally in second year was so excited to do First Year Small Group, because I feel like I just benefited so much from the upper years. Like to be honest, the upper years didn't really buy me that many meals. I feel like I bought more first year's meals than the upper years bought me meals. But that's like, it's chill. Like it's not just about buying meals, right? It's just like saying like, yo, like come. Like, I remember like every Wednesday I'd skip 9:30 Chem 123 and go to pack and play ball with like all the up years, like playing soccer, like intramurals. Just like don't be like, yo Sam, and like make you like getting me the gas. Like I remember like my very first KCF, these guys like, yo Sam, do you rap? I'm like I don't know, kinda. It's like, oh come here. So like a bunch of like the up years and me, like we just like, were in a table and they were like freestyling. Yeah, I think that's like the most memorable part of KCF.
I'll make it better for you. Hey.
Yes, thank you very much for creating such a welcoming atmosphere. And at first when I read Korean Christian Fellowship, I was like, okay, I think they're also open to others, but still you made it very clear that you really are open towards people from whichever background. And yes, I felt really welcomed at KCF, and I want to thank you for welcoming me, even though you already knew from the beginning that I would only be here for 4 months, that you still invested in relationships with me.
Yeah, just take care of yourselves. It's really not easy to do as students, but the most important person in your life is you, so yeah, make sure you do that.
Okay, my final words is I'm very thankful for everyone who came out to KCF. I feel like a lot of us were very nervous or very scared during the pandemic because we saw our numbers decrease online, and it was like really difficult to understand what was going to happen, especially like 2021 fall, because it's just like a whole new like setting. But now looking in the past year, the KCF feels exactly like how I felt, even though like structurally it's different, like how things are run is like different, like just the overall vibe, the overall feeling is exactly how I felt in my first year. So like I guess like my final word is like thank you so much guys for like coming out to KCF, like bring your energy, you know, like making like a old guy like me feel gas all the time. Like yeah, it means a lot that the community is like evolving but still staying the same in certain ways.
Forgot to say, come visit me in Taiwan. I'm gonna be there starting in August, and it would be a lot of fun to show people around because I feel like most people haven't seen Taiwan before. And Taiwan also isn't that far from Korea, so you should come visit. Anyways, that concludes the grad interview. Thanks for listening. See ya!